Hey guys, this is a MAF sensor test for the 2004 Mercedes C230 w203 chassis. You may not be able to see the original. It's still in. It's right here where my hand is. And then I got the one I just bought today. This one was less than $30. I know I shouldn't buy something that cheap, but you know, I like to test the cheap stuff out to see, you know, how long it will actually work for. This thing doesn't even have numbers on it. And I mean, it doesn't have any numbers on it. So it is real cheap. But it does have inside of it different kinds of resistors connected to the parts that sense the air. But I don't know if you could see it. Let me get a flashlight. Okay, so you see that? And my other one doesn't have it. That one you see to the left is just two metal pieces on my original one. But this one actually has something attached to it. Maybe a thermistor or something. And then there's another one back here. Hard to focus because I can't touch the phone. But anyway, there's another one back there. And there's the copper piece. I think it's copper. It could be brass. So there's actually, it actually looks like three parts. This actually looks different than mine. So I'm not sure if it's going to work. But the plug looks the same. I'm going to try to fit the plug in first right now. And make sure that that can fit. Okay, so the plug fits, but here's what I want to do. I want to test this for you guys because in my other video I tested it, and I tested the old one, and I think I told you that it seems like it's bad compared to a good one that another YouTuber was testing. So I set my meter on diode. Now I'm going to touch the leads together so you can see it. It beeps, the light lights up, and it goes to 0. Now yours may only go to 1, maybe. Sometimes they don't go to 0. Could be a dead battery or something. So let's test the old one. So right now I have my positive to the first terminal on my old sensor all the way to the left. Like this. Now you might not be able to see it, but you can see the meter if it registers something. I don't know if I can fit these in here. Maybe I can. Okay. Okay, you see how low that is? That's not normal. 251 is not normal. Now if I reverse these, I shouldn't get a reading. Remember, I'm testing pins 1 and 2 on the sensor. Look at that. I'm getting the same thing on diode. And that's not supposed to be like that. Let me get another connection here. See that? You're not supposed to get a reading, I believe, if you switch it around. Now I'm new to this, so like all my other videos, don't go according to me. I, you know, only know very little about cars. I only, you know, fool around with them, and you know, I get my diagnostic tool out and I just test and see if I could find the problem, and then what I'll do is I'll do like the mechanics do. I'll just keep buying parts, and you know, if the part don't work and it's in perfect condition, I can always return it. I get my money back, so I don't waste any money. Okay, so let's test the new one now. Let's see what this register. Okay, I don't know if you could see this. You might be able. Okay, so I'm going to test 1 and 2. Okay, positive to the left. Okay. I think you could see it, but anyway, keep your eye on the meter because that's more important. Okay, so positive to the left terminal, negative to the right. Okay, so I'm not getting anything. Okay, so let's switch them around, because don't forget, the first one on this car should be ground, or it could be like a signal or signal ground. The second one is positive. Alright, now I got the black lead to the first one. Let's see if I can focus a little more. Okay, so the black lead is to pin 1. I got the meter set on diode, and the red lead is on pin 2. And look at that. We get a nice reading, a high reading. Now remember, the other one, the old one, was about 250 compared to 10. And plus, it registered when I switched the leads. This one, if you got a positive and negative, there's got to be a diode in here. So it shouldn't, you know, it shouldn't register both ways. That diode inside that old one is probably shorted out somehow. It actually looks like it's connected to a resistor, maybe in series, and shorted out. So anyway, let's see what happens if we put the negative lead to the first one again, and I'll try the third one. Okay, so that's the third one. What is the third one? Okay, so I think, wait, hold on. Okay, so the third one, I believe, is signal. Let's try that again. Okay, so we got a nice high reading. Now, I'm going to put the positive lead on pin 4. We'll see what happens. Okay, so pin 1 and pin 4 are grounds. Okay, you see that? Pin 1 and pin 4 are grounds. Now the next one on this car isn't used. There's no wire connected to it, but I'm going to put it there anyway. We'll see if anything happens. We actually get a reading on there, so maybe this sensor, this MAF sensor, could be used for another car. Okay, so that's what we get on the last one, and again, it's not used in this car. Okay, so let's go again. I'm going to do the same thing to the old sensor that's still on the car. Negative to pin 1, and then positive to pin 3. Okay, so that's what I get on 1 and 3. And don't forget, 3 is, I believe, is the signal wire. But don't go according to me. You know, look on the internet. Okay, so that's 3. Now I'm going to go back to the new one again. Okay, so what is this reading? Let's see. Alright, like 1094. let's see what we get on here. Remember, pins 1 and 3. Okay, so it's a little different. You know, 1094, 1349. It's not too bad. So half of it must be good, but it's definitely bad. All right, so that's what a new sensor should read. Like, you know, like I said, number one, pin 1 is ground, I believe, and pin 2 is 12 volts, and pin 3 is signal, and pin 4 is ground. Now I don't know why these are both ground, but like I said, I heard someone mention something about a ground sensor wire or something like that, but you know, I don't know if that's correct or not, but I also don't know why they would put 2 grounds on here. Seems kind of strange. What else could I tell you about this? So I guess what I'm going to do is, I already tested the voltage coming out of the car. I get the right voltage, you know, coming out of this clip, and the sensor wire works. It fluctuates, so I know that's good, and I'm not getting over voltage. If you get over voltage, you will destroy this thing. Some people have purposely burned these out with only 16 volts. So if you jump your car, maybe a battery died out, or you use a jumper pack, or you use any kind of jumper pack, you know, this part is very sensitive. You probably will burn it out. You know, if your car starts shaking after, or you get an check engine light, that's most likely going to be the problem. Now I think if you jumped it with another car, I don't think that you would burn this part out, because it should be the correct voltage. But when you use some kind of jumper pack, it sends, for some reason, a jolt of you know, a lot in there, more than, you know, more than 15, 16. I've seen 17, 18 go in there for a split second or two, and that's enough to kill anything. You'll probably have problem with your SAM, you know, your fuse box. Some of the IC chips might burn out, and your headlights won't work, and you'll get that sign, you know, the LED display in your car will say front right light, and you would think it's the light bulb, but you really got no power to it. Now don't forget, if you put a new light bulb, you have to turn the key off for about 1 minute, or at least 30 seconds, then turn it back on to reset the SAM for that light bulb. Because after it knows it's not detected, it turns it off. It doesn't keep trying to put power into the bulb, because it thinks something's wrong. So it will, the fuse box, the part inside, will turn off. Usually there's IC chips in there, and you can change them, because I've changed them in this car and a 2005. And I think I might have responded to someone that was asking if I remembered the model number of the ICs, and I said no at first, but then I was repairing a refrigerator board, and I happened to find about, you know, 10 or 15 in there, and those were the ones I repaired the board with. And I had no blinkers, no windshield wipers, no brake lights, no turn signal. The car was shaking. There's one thing that still doesn't work, and I can't get it working, is the rain sensor. And the headlights, when it gets dark at night, they automatically come on. They seem to, if I put it on auto, the lights are on at all times. So I can't get my wipers to have a delay, and the rain sensor doesn't work, and the light sensor doesn't work. But I don't know if that has something to do with that. I did try to buy another rain sensor, but it didn't work. So I don't know why. Maybe I did something wrong. I don't know. I think I tried to disconnect the battery too to reset it, but it still didn't work. Maybe it was bad. Maybe somebody else did the same thing and jumped the car and sent too much voltage and burned it out. Who knows, you know? One day I'll order another one. Let's see. What else could I tell you? I don't know. Everything else seems to be working on this car. I did have this disconnected, the MAF sensor, because the car runs 10 times better without it. Yeah, if I plug that in, the car is terrible. It chugs when it's in drive. I mean, it's really bad when you have it in drive and you stop at a light. Yeah, the engine's surging up and down, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. When I take that out, it'll go away. But the car has to be warmed up. Don't forget that. You can't, in the morning, your car will shake really bad for about a minute or two with that plug out, but then it'll idle out smooth. You won't even know that's disconnected. Car still has massive power, you know, no problems. So anyway, I am going to try to install this. Hopefully it works. I wrote a number on here. I don't know if you could see it, but this is the number that was on the box. For the sensor. Now I don't know if that's the original part number, because I don't have the original part. I have some crappy one in here that ever since I installed it, the engine never ran right. I told the guy, I says, look, there's something wrong with this. It's coming up the code 171 or 172. I told him, I said, there's something wrong with it. It's bad. I said, all my wiring's good. I checked the voltage and everything, but he says, I guarantee it's good. And he convinced me that it was good. But don't let anyone convince you. If you think something's wrong, you should return it. Alright? Alright, so I'm going to put this part in, and maybe I'll make a part 2, and I'll let you know if this one works or not. And remember, this is really cheap. It's like $26, $28, I think. But I like to try the cheap stuff to see if it works. And I don't like to put a lot of money into this car because it's almost got 300,000 miles on it. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.